expect that early. That's it. I cannot make any kind of I can't estimate at all about how it will look in the next 4 or 5 weeks. The only thing what I can do is work extremely hard to make it as positive as somehow possible. But there's so many extremely strong opponents. West Ham is one of them when you see them. Really exciting project as well. I'm happy for David that he really could build this team now over a few years, and even with Declan Rice out, they look really good. I have to say, Ward-Pro super signing. Paqueta is not a new signing, but is a super player. With all the other guys they had already, that looks really solid, and that makes it really tricky. And then we have all the other teams, the top 4, 5, 6 plus. Where you want to start, where you want to end. The league is extremely strong. It's good for the people, but means for us we have to be the best version of ourselves.
And on David Moyes, then you know he had that pressure. Then things have turned around for him. He's now one of the longest-standing managers, as are you. Do you think football fans are kind of appreciating that actually it is worth sticking with the manager in the long run?
That depends to the results. When you win, then it was worth waiting. If you lose, then it was not worth waiting. So that's fine. I don't think there's the right answer for. Sometimes it's right to stick together, and sometimes maybe not. I don't know. It's not an example, but I think David, with this history in the Premier League and his history at West Ham, if anybody deserved to get through this little bit lesser good period, it's definitely him. I think he's an exceptional manager. He's a really good guy. We don't know we don't know each other extremely well, but we respect each other a lot. I feel that when we speak to each other, and it's really nice to watch how they came through it and won the European trophy, which is absolutely outstanding, and what it makes to the club. So yeah, it's a really cool project. I cannot say differently, but we play them, and that means we want to beat them.
Just ask you about a player who, as an Englishman, would be very excited about, Jarell Quansah. 20 years old, playing as a centre half in a Premier League game. For any England fan watching, would be going, well, this is one really going to look to the future. Where I'm not talking about England right now, but where is he up to in his development and his journey here?
In the right moment, in the right club. Yeah, that's it. It's our boy, fantastic boy. One with the U20s of England, obviously a massive competition. Played a super pre-season with us. That's really good, and deserved to start in the last game against Wolves. That's as easy as it is. It was. Some people might say it's a brave decision. I didn't feel it was a brave decision from us, because we had obviously Ibu ready-ish to this training. We had centre halves. We had to bring up with half an hour training, more or less, to bring it, because the others were not ready. So I think we did it in more serious situations, but because Jarell was there, we didn't have to do it, and he did really well. I liked it a lot, and it's nice to see the smile in his face after the game. It's really like he has now 3 games on his belly and 9 points. So I think that's not a bad record.
Not bad indeed. You've got this run now of league and cup games, and Europa League that's already happened, and EFL Cup as well. Can we see more young players kind of fitting in here in the same way Jarell has?
No, we will see. Yeah, but we will see. That's now. Look, I understand it 100%. So it's the early stages of the season. As long as we have, when everybody's fit, then the very young boys probably will not have that much game time. That's how it is in the moment when other players get out. But it's not. It's in this age, when you're 17, 18, 19, there's not a problem. It's nice to have a game here or there, but it's much more important you have these games the moment you are really ready for it. So it's not there to show that they are nearly there. It's actually there to bring them when they're really ready to do it. And that's, some of them might be already and or not, but that makes no difference. At the end of the career, look back, it's not important if your first game was in September 23 or in September 24. It really doesn't matter. But in that time, for a lot of people, it makes a massive difference. But when you look back, there is no difference. So for us, it's about being as successful as possible. That's obviously very important. But to use the player in the perfect moment for them.
West Ham are 4 unbeaten, and then they've lost to City. They're playing in Europa League as well, like you are. I know you get asked about fixture congestion and where games should be played all the time, but you know, how much of a difference are you going to have to prepare your team to play at 2 o'clock on a Sunday and then compared
That's
to...
no problem. No, it's Thursday, Sunday, 2 o'clock and stuff like this. It's not cool. It would be better. We would play a little bit later. People misunderstand that when I talk about it 12:30, it's not, and it's only 2.5 hours before the 3 o'clock. Yeah, that's true, but it's completely different when you have to get up. We have at 9 o'clock pre-match meal. That means the boys they are not there yet in their because they come from a completely different time zone, and everybody who had ever a jet lag knows how that is. Even if you're not a jet lagger, you still feel the difference. And now you get up and you have to be at your absolute peak of your performance level in a moment where it's really difficult. 2.5, 3 hours after getting up, you cannot get the boys out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning just to make them 100% ready for the game. And all these things are really difficult. And the only thing I'm asking for is that you all the TV stations help there, because you want to have the best product as well, and we want to have the best product. It's not that we want to put them in cotton wool and say, oh, don't touch them until they're awake in the afternoon or whatever. It's about, we have to help them to get into to be in the best possible shape, to deliver the best possible performance. So, and now, playing at 2 o'clock, it's much better than 12:30. People might say it's only 1.5 hours, but you only can say that if you don't really understand the issue.
Darwin Núñez, and they get asked about him a lot as well. Last game, he had so many great chances, getting into the right position. You know, as a neutral, it looks like he's doing all the right things. You know, is his confidence as high as you want it to be?
It's really good. It's a really good moment. Enjoys his game a lot of the moment. That's fine. He understands. You have only a problem as a striker if you don't have any chances. He has chances, opportunities. Obviously, it's not too long ago he scored the 2 most incredible goals I saw for a long, long time against Newcastle. It's absolutely insane. Played a super game against Aston Villa. Then was international break. Had their little bit muscle-ish here. He said he's fine, but we read obviously what Bielsa said. Then he had as well a very intense travel, so we decided not to start him, but came on, has a massive impact on the game. He's in a good moment, and you see that in training. It's not important in the moment if he scores already or not. For a striker, it's important that in these moments where you don't score but play well, you understand it right, and just keep going, and then everything will fall in place anyway.
Final 2 questions. Paddle. Apparently you've got a game with Neil Skupski. Is that right?
I would have had if I don't have to do the interviews today, because he was here in the building with his brother, with Ian. But it's not possible because I had too many TV interviews. Otherwise, I would have played. But it's not fair because he's a professional tennis player. But it's not fair because he never played paddle before. So we will see. He lives obviously not too far from here when he is in England. So we will find a moment where we can play, definitely.
Do you reckon you could have him in a game of paddle then?
No, actually not. Maybe the very first game we will not explain him the rules. And we'll just smash him. But from second game on, no chance.
A final question. In your last Premier League press conference, they ended with a child coming asking for an autograph, which you obliged. And
it started with that.
Oh, it didn't start with that. Oh, there you go. I just saw it as a clip. So there you go. Yeah. That was lovely. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on, you know, we see a lot of grounds now, kids with signs like, can I have your shirt, or can I have your boots or something? You get kids with signs, you know, looking to the players. What were your thoughts on that? Because obviously for a player, they can only give the stuff away to so many people, and it feels there's a lot of kids you end up disappointing. I don't know. Do you feel that's
a general problem. I don't know now exactly how it is with boots and shirts. Nobody asked me for that in a long time, but it's all about we cannot So two things. As an example, we win the game at Wolverhampton. You go. I'm the last out of the dressing room. The bus is waiting. Everybody wants to leave. Blah blah blah. Because I had press conference, all this kind of things. So go out, and the only decision you have to make: do I disappoint all of them, or nearly all of them? Because I can maybe go for 2, 3, 4 autographs, and then all the others are disappointed, or it's for all of them. That's really tricky. That stays a tricky decision, and probably until the rest of my life, I'm not sure, as long as people ask me for autographs. So you just cannot deliver. We cannot deliver. There are moments where we can do it, and other moments where we can't do it, and we get judged by these things. And that was always the least problem of all ever, because it was one boy wanted one autograph, and that's the perfect situation. So you want an autograph, here you have it. You want a signed shirt, here you have it. The problem is you're under time pressure, and you have 50 more in a row. So that's not doable. And then you disappoint one or all. That's a thing.
Do you think if it happens in the ground, should there be a...
In the ground, which ground?
So like, let's
Stadium.
say, yeah, in the stadium, yeah, sorry, yeah, let's say you're in the ground.
But that's not possible. They are lucky. Everybody puts a sign up, but they know there's only one shirt and 2 boots. So when you win a game, and the boy, when he saw it, and he or she gets the shirt, that's not an issue. You cannot. I think that's logical. That he's not a shop of shirts and throws then 20 into the ground. It's not possible. So that's when you are lucky. Maybe you might get one.
So what I'm really getting at is do you think they should be allowed to do that, really? Because if all these other kids are going to
never thought about it. But the only thing what I can say, nobody got raised without disappointment. There are bigger issues than be disappointed from time to time as a kid. It's not about being disappointed. It's about how to deal with it, and we all could help with that. So give it a try. I have no problem with that. But don't get too frustrated if it doesn't work out, because that's part of development.